let's take a look at another main function that we're going to see. The cube root of x. Does this guy have a limited domain?
No. He's a cube.
Since it's a cube root, you can plug negative numbers into this guy, right? So that means whenever I make my t-table of values, you can plug in all kinds of good stuff. 0's always good. What's the cube root of 0?
0.
How about 1? What's the cube root of 1?
1.
You said we could plug in negative values, right?
Yes. What's negative cube? Negative.
What's the
9.
cube root of negative 1?
Negative 1.
Okay. Now, I want you to be smart about the values that you're plugging in here. You want to plug in numbers that are perfect cubes, that way you can take their cube root. So should I plug in 9? What should I plug in?
You should plug in 8.
Why should I plug in 8?
Because it's cube 2.
The cube root of 8 is 2. 2 to the third is 8. Y'all agree? Okay. So that means I should be able to plug in negative 8. What's the cube root of negative 8?
Negative 8. I mean, negative 2.
It's negative 2. Let's see what the graph of this guy looks like.
That's a big one.
If I plug in 0, I get 0, 1, I get 1, and 8, I get 2.
Oh, this is a parabola.
No, it's not.
It's not the same.
Because that's what you get on one side. Some of it kind of looks like a parabola, but it's not. As you finish plotting the rest of these points, negative 1, negative 8, negative 2, you get something that is anything but.
That's a way.
This is definitely not a parabola. Here's what you need to know. You got to know how to graph this. Do not go straight through here. You do that and you're wrong. It's going to be very flat and vertical right here, and then it's going to start curving out like this. Okay? So it's almost like you're going straight down and then you curve out just like you were doing a parabola. So you have something that looks like this.
That's weird. That's weird. It's so weird.
It is kind of weird, but that's the way it looks. Like a boomerang, yes. It looks just like a movie with Eddie Murphy. If you haven't seen the movie, don't.
Why? I like that movie.
And if you like that movie, you might want to reevaluate your life choices here. So let's see what this guy looks like when I graph this. If I press math, because I've got to get to the cube root function, cube root of x, all right, and then hit graph. So it looks very similar to what I have here, though I want to change the settings just so it looks a little bit better. I want to exaggerate what you see right here so that you can graph it more easily on your own. So let's make the y min to be negative 3, y max to be 3. Now watch this. That is the shape that we're supposed to have. It's supposed to look like that. Notice that it's never straight going through these 3 key points right here. It's never straight. You don't see it being straight right here. It does become vertical for just an instant, and that kind of curves over. Okay, but you've got to get the shape down.
Is it
Okay.
a function? It's not a function.
This is a function. It passes the vertical line test, and plus I wrote it as function notation up here. Right? If you ever see something written as f of x, it's a function. Kind of nothing. It is.
That makes it look like it doesn't, but I see on mine it does, and on yours it does, but the calculator messes it up.
It looks like it's going to fill the vertical line test right here.
It looks like it's going straight and then turning. It doesn't look like it's completely wibble-wobble.
Here's what you need to understand.
And that's just
It
on
is
the calculator.
it is
Compressed.
completely straight and vertical at a single point at the origin 0, 0. Anywhere other than 0, 0, it is not straight up and down. It's only at that single point. You have to understand, remember about single points is that they have no mass, they have no width, no height, no length. Okay? It's just a location.
Oh.
Okay? So right here it's still only going through one point, which is the origin. Okay? There's never a point on here where you would get two answers. There's never a number that you could plug in here, and it's gonna give you back two different numbers. It doesn't happen. Any number you plug in there, it gives you a unique value back. Okay? Questions about that? Because what we need to do now is to take this shape and take this shape and do all of the stuff that we did at the very beginning of this semester, which is move them around.